Welcome back to Nation of Glory, the place where we celebrate the legends who shaped Hollywood and inspired the world far beyond the big screen. Today, we are going to take a heartfelt journey into the life of one of the most respected and admired figures in cinema, a man whose voice, presence, and convictions have left an undeniable mark on generations. This is the story of Danny Glover, a brilliant actor, a courageous activist, and a compassionate humanitarian who has proven that greatness is not just measured in awards or roles, but in the impact one leaves behind on people's lives. Danny Glover's journey begins in San Francisco, California, where he was born on July 22, 1946. His parents were deeply rooted in community values. Both of them worked for the U.S. Postal Service and were active in the NAACP. From a young age, Danny grew up in a household where discussions of civil rights, justice, and equality were not just occasional topics, they were daily conversations that shaped his sense of purpose. He didn't just inherit a strong work ethic from his parents, but also a sense of responsibility to use his voice and platform for the greater good. As a child, Danny struggled with dyslexia, a challenge that could have held him back. But instead of letting it define him, he found ways to rise above it. He worked tirelessly to improve his reading skills, showing the same resilience he would later bring to his acting career. That early fight to overcome obstacles gave him a deep empathy for others, and a powerful determination that audiences would one day recognize in every performance he delivered. Danny Glover attended San Francisco State University, where his interests expanded beyond academics. He became deeply involved in the Black Students' Union and the civil rights movement that was sweeping across America during the 1960s. This was a time of immense social change, and young Glover was right there, not only learning about history but actively shaping it. His activism began long before Hollywood knew his name, and that would become a constant thread throughout his life. Yet destiny had other plans for him beyond activism. While working at City Hall in San Francisco, Danny began taking acting classes at the American Conservatory Theater. He found a new passion that would combine his natural gift for storytelling with his deeply rooted sense of justice. Acting was not just about entertainment for him, it was about conveying truth, emotion, and humanity. His big break came in the early 1980s. Audiences first began noticing his talent in movies like Escape from Alcatraz and Places in the Heart. But it was his unforgettable role in Steven Spielberg's The Color Purple in 1985 that truly introduced him to the world. Playing Albert, a character filled with cruelty and flaws, was not an easy role. Yet Danny Glover delivered it with such intensity and honesty that it left audiences speechless. Many actors fear being hated for portraying villains, but Glover embraced the complexity of the role, showing the world that he could inhabit any character, no matter how challenging. And then came the role that would cement his place in Hollywood history: Detective Roger Murdaugh in Lethal Weapon. Paired with Mel Gibson, the buddy cop film exploded onto the screen in 1987 and became an instant classic. Glover's famous line, "I'm too old for this," became a cultural phenomenon, repeated and loved across generations. But beyond the humor and action, what made Glover's role special was the humanity he brought to it. Murdaugh wasn't just a cop, he was a family man, a husband, a father. Audiences connected with him not just because of the explosions and car chases, but because of his warmth and relatability. The success of Lethal Weapon turned Danny Glover into a household name. The franchise spawned multiple sequels, and each time, fans rushed to see him and Mel Gibson bring their unmatched chemistry back to the screen. But even as Hollywood was showering him with fame and opportunities, Danny Glover never lost sight of his roots. For him, acting was a craft, but activism was a duty. Throughout the 1980s and 1990s, Danny used his fame to bring attention to causes that mattered. He became a voice for workers' rights, affordable health care, and education. He traveled around the world, supporting humanitarian efforts and standing with communities that were too often ignored. He wasn't afraid to take a stand, even when it wasn't popular, because he knew that silence was never an option in the face of injustice. One of his most admired qualities is that he never separated his career from his activism. He used his platform to amplify the struggles of others. Whether it was speaking against apartheid in South Africa, supporting labor unions in the United States, or advocating for better representation of African Americans in Hollywood, Danny Glover consistently put his values first. But while he was busy fighting for justice, his artistry continued to shine. He starred in powerful films, such as Mandela, where he portrayed the iconic South African leader, and To Sleep with Anger, a role that earned him widespread critical acclaim. He proved that he could move effortlessly between blockbusters and smaller, independent films, always delivering performances that resonated with authenticity. Danny Glover's life was not only about movies and activism, it was also about humanity. His involvement with the United Nations and organizations like UNICEF highlighted his commitment to improving lives worldwide. His efforts earned him prestigious accolades, including the Jean Hersholt Humanitarian Award from the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences, as well as the NAACP's President's Award. These honors were not just about his talent on screen, but his unwavering dedication to using his fame for good. What makes Danny Glover's story so emotional is not just his achievements, but the humility with which he carries them. Despite his success, he has always been approachable, down to earth, and deeply connected to his community. Colleagues and fans alike describe him as someone who listens, who cares, and who treats people with respect regardless of their background. As the years passed, Danny Glover never slowed down. He continued to take on diverse roles in film and television, earning 5 Emmy nominations along the way. He also received 4 Grammy nominations for his narration work, reminding us that his voice was as powerful behind the microphone as it was on the big screen. His versatility was astonishing, proving that true artistry has no boundaries. But perhaps the greatest legacy of Danny Glover is not the movies he made or the awards he received, it is the inspiration he has given to countless people who see in him a reflection of resilience, dignity, and courage. His story is one of rising above challenges, staying true to principles, and believing in the power of art and activism to create real change. Danny Glover showed us that an actor can be more than just a performer. He can be a leader. He can be a teacher. He can be a beacon of hope. From his humble beginnings in San Francisco to becoming a global icon, his journey is a testament to what happens when talent meets purpose. And today, as we reflect on his extraordinary life and career, we are reminded that the world needs more voices like his. Voices that stand for justice. Voices that uplift the marginalized. Voices that remind us of our shared humanity. So the next time you watch a Danny Glover film, whether it's the thrilling action of Lethal Weapon, the emotional weight of The Color Purple, or the powerful storytelling of his many other projects, remember that behind the character is a man who dedicated his life not just to entertaining us, but to making the world a better place. This was the story of Danny Glover, a man who showed us the true meaning of being both an artist and a humanitarian. His legacy will continue to inspire generations long after the lights of Hollywood fade, because his impact reaches far beyond the silver screen. Thank you for watching this story on Nation of Glory. If you enjoyed this journey into the life of Danny Glover, make sure to hit that like button, share this video with others who appreciate stories of greatness, and don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more inspiring stories about the legends of Hollywood. Until next time, stay inspired, stay strong, and keep celebrating the glory of those who make a difference.